Hey, what's going on, people, and welcome to another video on the channel. And in today's video we are going over what is next for Bungie and what is going to happen with the next Destiny game. So remember to like, subscribe, comment down below in any way that I can improve this, or anything that you think that should be added to Destiny 3. And yeah, let's get straight into it with some of my ideas towards what will happen towards these two things. So for starter, if people don't know, Bungie and Activision separated, they parted ways. They are now separate people. So Activision was the publisher, Bungie was the producer and the makers towards Destiny, and Bungie kept Destiny after everything, probably because they made the idea ages before Activision, so it probably made sense for them to keep it. But Destiny 2 is still available on Battle.net, so it's still a win-win for Activision. They're still going to get money from it if people do go ahead and buy it. If not, the PC community is going to go way down. So that's a start to it. But since they split ways, Activision have gone through fraud, they've gone through I don't know what else. I think they might be getting sued by people. I don't know. They're going through bad times. They're going through a lot of bad times. But for Bungie, they're hopefully going to go for a high, because I think as of late they released their DLC plans, and they're planning towards the future. They're planning towards the rest of 2019, and they started off pretty well since they separated with them. Bungie and Activision didn't really see eye to eye towards what they're going to be doing, and their sales of Destiny 2, Activision didn't like the sales of the DLC and the game, so Bungie, probably the best thing that they've ever done, separated from that one. Microsoft wasn't the best one, but from Activision themselves, it's probably the best thing that Bungie's done. So for Bungie themselves, I would say that they are going to do Destiny 3. I would say that it's going to be coming 2020, and I would say that I would hope that it's going to have the new, they're going to have the new dev kits towards the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox One Scarlet. I'm going to guess that Bungie will have both of those two dev kits to make it for the next gen, since PlayStation 5 and Xbox One Scarlet, or the Xbox Scarlet, is going to be supposedly coming out 2020, and if Destiny 3 can come out when those two consoles do come out to the public, and it's maybe a month after, or a release date thing for those two consoles, then I feel like their sales for Destiny 3 would go skyrocketing way up. But if we go over Destiny 3 itself, Destiny 3 probably needs to add in a couple of these things that I'm going to go over. So for starters, they probably will have to have cross-platform play in it. I'm saying that they will have to, mainly because Destiny itself is probably on the lower side towards console ways, and if they had a cross-platform thing, I would probably say it'll go up quite a bit, especially since maybe they'll add in, I don't know, like a Destiny ID or like a Guardian ID to just allow people to have a friends list towards a multi-platform thing, just like how Rocket League is doing theirs with the Rocket ID. Maybe Destiny or Bungie will do something like that. It just as well allows it to make it a little bit easier towards cross-platform play if they've got a type of ID friend system, invite system towards cross-platform people. It makes it a lot more better, probably. So the second thing that I would love to see in Destiny 3 would be no DLC. That would be the best thing. Well, no paid for DLC. Let me rephrase it. No paid for DLC. So for myself, I hate the fact that they have squeezed as much money as they can out of Destiny 2 and Destiny 1, especially with having the annual passes. For every single year you have to have an annual pass, or you just wait until the game has gone through its 3-year cycle and buy it really cheap right after it. So if you're planning on staying up to date with the game, you have to pay, I think it was for the first one, you had to pay about £160 just to have all of the DLC if you want to keep up to date. And then as soon as Destiny 2 got announced, the the price of their main thing went to about £40, which is ridiculous. They've buddy 4 times less than what the normal thing is. So that it probably put people off completely. As soon as they found out that they're not going to be getting it each year, Destiny 1 went skyrocketing down. As soon as it finished with, I didn't even play the last raid. I didn't even get the last DLC pack for Destiny 1. Destiny 2, I haven't even played it since the game launched, mainly because I can't be arsed buying the DLC every single time. If they just made the DLC completely free, just have microtransactions in the game for cosmetic stuff, or, you know, faster ways of upgrading, maybe not that one, that's a bit iffy, but maybe just, like, you know, like skins, or like new bikes, or, well, new sparrows, new emotes, stuff like that. I feel like that would be completely fine, and as well, that would probably keep in a lot of their audience that are playing it right now. So that means, you know, you don't have to have a separation as well for cross-platform. If that one did happen with that one, it would make cross-platform a lot more easier, because that means the only restrictions that you've got are just your internets. That's it. There's no DLC barriers. You don't have to download all the DLC. Well, you still will have to, but you know, there's no proper DLC barriers between them both. And especially since, you know, Bungie's not with Activision now, so that means maybe they can get rid of the whole season pass, or the annual pass that Activision keep on trying to promote, and for some reason it's working still, because people still want to buy it, even though most other games right now, like even EA, are going away from having paid for DLC. They've learned, and Activision still haven't. So that's a massive step between them, and I'm hoping that, you know, Bungie go towards the EA way of making their games and not have any pay for DLC, apart from, you know what, you can look good, but you have to pay a little bit more if you want certain things. You can still unlock it in the game. It's just a faster way of getting these type of outfits right here, right now. Makes a lot more sense to have that. So the last thing I'm going to go over is about Destiny 3 again. I don't want to go over everything, because I'll be here for the next God knows how many minutes talking about everything that I want to get upgraded and, you know, improved and added to the game. But for this one, I would rather see a lot more different enemies, because at this point they just keep on using the same enemies, keep on using the same type of concept towards you know, raids and nightfalls, and, you know, maybe not nightfall, strikes and missions and everything like that. I would like to see more variety, because at this point it's like the Vex, the Cabal, the Hive, and the Fallen have all been around for so long. We must have killed them all by now, at least. Like, for how many years they've been on the world, and we've eradicated that many of the enemies. They should be at their little amounts at this point. So maybe, you know, make it as like the last stands for some of these enemies and stuff like that. Maybe they're only in little parts of the areas on like Earth or something like that, because Earth's had every single enemy on the map. Especially, you know, the Hive, the Fallen, they've definitely been on the same planet at the same time. And the same with the Cabal keep on going down to Earth. And then the Vex are exactly the same. The Vex are going down to Earth. So maybe their final stand for all of those 4 will be on that planet. And then they'll have they have like an extra 3 more planets, and have in a full-on new enemy types for all 3 different planets. So 3 new enemy you know, factions, and then, you know, maybe like 3 different variants or 4 different variants for those 3 enemies. And then for mission wise, like the missions in Destiny 2 were okay. They're not the best. They're nowhere near the best. I feel like there's a lot of loading, there's a lot of traveling, they're not all in the same area, it just takes forever. I feel like the mission that I did yesterday, I played a little bit, that's what's in the background right now, I played a little bit, and it took me about bloody 25 minutes to do it. It's not just because of my internet, and it's not because I suck, it's just because it took so long. It was so long-winded. Like, it just felt like a small strike. It didn't feel like a quick mission. It just felt like a really small strike instead. A quick mission should be about, I don't know, like 7 minutes long. So that means it keeps people motivated to keep on playing. Like, if they know that the missions are going to be about, I don't know, like 25 minutes long, Why would people want to play it? Like, it's mind-numbingly stupid. Like, strikes, fair enough. You're there for the long run with strikes. You're going to be there for 25 minutes, maybe about 30, depending on what type of strike you're doing. If it's a nightfall, yes, it could take about half an hour to do it. And, you know, for like a raid, the raids, yeah, fair enough. That's going to take, I don't know, God knows, like 2 hours to do it. At the first time of doing it, it could take about 3-4 hours doing it. It depends on how hard the raid is. And, you know, if it is literally your fire team's first time ever doing it, then, you know, it kind of makes sense it's going to take that long. After that, it could take an hour. You know, strikes could take about, I know, 20 minutes. Missions still take 20 minutes. Just because they're so long-winded, there's so much to it. They're not easy to do. So I'm going on a rant now, sorry. But it's one of those things where they need to improve on a lot of stuff on the game. And they, you know, Bungie need to improve themselves. They need to know what direction they want to take, you know, Destiny 3 into. There's a lot of mistakes in Destiny 2. Oh, well, Destiny 1 that was resolved in Destiny 2, and then there's still mistakes in Destiny 2 that need to be resolved in Destiny 3. And if Destiny 3, I feel like if it doesn't improve from what, you know, Destiny 2 improved on, and then you failed at, and then Destiny 3, if that doesn't actually improve, I feel like they're going to lose their complete fan base. They're going to have to completely do a new game and all of that. So I'm hoping not. You know, Destiny is a really good game, even though I did rant a little bit towards that one, but I know a lot of people rant towards it as well. Like, it's one of those games that just frustrates you, but it holds you in somehow. it doesn't let go. It really doesn't let go of people that play the game. Like, it forces people to play it once a week for about, I don't know, 3-4 hours. If you want to do a raid, that'll take like an hour. If you want to do it on another character, it could take up like 3 separate days. You could do a character a day just to do, I don't know, like the nightfall, the raids, and everything like that. Each day contributes to every single character. You can make a max of 3. Makes sense. 3, you know, types. 3, you know, hunter, warlock, and titan. Makes sense to have that. But they need to have something a little bit more. Like, I felt like in Destiny 1, it probably forced people to play it a little bit more because they added in the Prison of Elders. That's what it was called. I was thinking about all day. The Prison of Elders was probably one of the fun parts of Destiny 1. And I probably had more enjoyment doing the Prison of Elders than I did doing the raids, doing the nightfalls and everything like that, because the nightfalls I used to play solo. Prison of Elders, I used to do solo as well, but it was still fun to do because it was a variety, it was something different. And they tried to do that in Destiny 2 with the Gambit things, and I feel like that's just literally just a copy and paste of what they've done before. They're doing a copy and paste of what they're doing, and they need to spice it up a little bit, I feel. And yeah, you know, end of that before I go over any more. Hope you enjoy. Remember to like, subscribe, comment down below, and any way that I can improve the video, probably shorten it and not go over so much stuff next time. But remember to comment down below as well for what you want to see from Destiny 3 yourself, or what do you think Bungie should do in the future of years, where they could go. Maybe, you know, bankruptcy. Maybe they could be the next Epic Games. Who knows? But hope you enjoy. I'll see you in the next one. So, peace out.